And now, ladies and gentlemen, we go from where it all began to why I even wanted to continue doing this. Because of course, it comes directly after Welcome Home Sanitarium. And now we begin the second half of Master of Puppets. And again, spoiler alerts, but this right here is absolutely my personal favorite Metallica song of all time. And I gotta tell you what, guys, I've spoken before about me trying to do this whole Metallica songs from worst till best, and I believe the criteria for like the top, well, here's the thing, Master of Puppets I would rank as 8th, and it would go something along the lines of 7th would be Four Horsemen. 6 would be... Oh, God. I think 6 would be Orion. 5th would be 1. 4th would be Ride the Lightning. 3 would be And Justice for All. 2 would be Fade to Black. And 1 would be Disposable Heroes. And I've got to tell you what, guys, I had to think very, very seriously about whether or not, because I think even having 1 as low as number 5 is quite a tall order, because, again, it's... But there's so many, especially because, spoiler alerts, further down the list, I had Trapped Under Ice ranked as 15th, which is, it's really cool, but, well, that's besides the point. So, you may be asking yourself right now, why do I think this is the greatest Metallica song of all time? Well, let me demonstrate right now, because it's about on par the same length as Master of Puppets. But to say, well, that's enough talk, I think I just better show you guys, because in case you guys don't know what the deal is, I'll do it myself.
What I say when I say back to the right. You will die
when I'm saying you must die back to the front.
You coward! You servant! You blind man! Barking of machine gun fire does nothing to me now. Sounding of the clock that ticks, get used to it somehow. Moral man must fight to wear glory seeker trends. Bodies fill the fields I see, the slaughter never ends. Soldier boy made a play, now an empty jail. 21, only son, but he served his well. Friends who kill, not who care, do just as we say. Finish here, bring death.
He's yours to take away.
Back to the front. You will do what I say when I say back to the front. You will die
When I say you must die back to the front. You coward, you servant, you blind man.
Why am I dying now? Have no fear. Am I dying now?
Am I dying here? Have no fear, I live a flying hell. Hell is here.
I was born for dying. Life played out before my birth. Nothing good I say. Had no chance to see myself molded day by day. Looking back, I
Realize nothing have I done. Let it down the holy way. I know I press my gun. Soldier boy, made of clay. Now an empty shell. 21, only son. Body served as well. Better to kill, not to care. Do just as we say. Face here, ready to death. It's yours to take away.
You will do what I say when I say back to the front. You will die when I say you must die back to the front. You coward, you servant, you blind man, back to the front. Back to the front. Back to the front. Back to the front. Back to the front.
And in case you guys missed it, guys, allow me to put it in a slightly different way. You may be interested to know that actually the day I'm recording this is the 8th of May 2025. 80 years on since VE Day, well, victory in Europe. The end of Hitler's 1,000-year Reich, the end of the European, Civil War, if you will. The real end, now, despite the fact that America was still fighting back or land from the Japanese across the Pacific, this really was what many people would say pretty much the end of the war. And would that be now, for those who've never really seen some of my videos before, songs that talk about war actually strike a very, very interesting chord with me, because not only do they convey death, destruction, carnage, and everything that comes with into such a poetically dystopian, dark, bleak, and unimaginable world, but it's also that revelation I had when I first listened to this when I was 20 years old, when I first imagined the idea that, guess what, maybe it was possible even so that even the Nazis who we were fighting against, yes, we were fighting against a foreign dictatorship, but not everybody who fought for Adolf Hitler was necessarily quite like that. Bear in mind, one of the many things that Hitler introduced is the idea that no longer were the German soldiers supposed to swear allegiance to the Constitution, but they had to swear allegiance to Adolf Hitler. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's the list of things that Hitler did that don't even get a mention are actually quite staggering to any would-be Europe 20th century historians. But this, guys, is just it brings things into almost a completely new a new scale of carnage, destruction, and such a dystopia. It's a certain reality that it kind of uncovers that you don't really start to resonate, or at least start to put the pieces together, until it becomes a bit hard to get away from. You can't get away from the idea that there was a lot of people who probably, and not just in the Second World War, but all throughout history, who in many ways were either fighting for the wrong side, but those who probably may have had, or maybe who had no real other way of making it in terms of, because you may remember, for those who've ever read For Whom the Bell Tolls, which Metallica also made into a song of their own, but also Homage to Catalonia, that they openly talk, which both books were about the Spanish Civil War. They both openly stated that children as young as 12 in the back streets of Barcelona were coming all the way to the front in Barbastro to fight against fascism. And probably there were kids as young as that fighting for the fascists as well, mostly for the sake of the bread, which militiamen got in plentiful. And, well, they probably weren't. They probably didn't even believe in what fascism was, or even who General Franco was. Maybe they were just doing it because they were starving and hungry, and they just had to make some money somewhere. And even the title "Disposable Heroes", it's a very clever oxymoron. When how could a hero be classed as disposable? Isn't a hero meant to be adorned, worshipped, cherished, erected with statues and decorations of military discipline and conspicuous merit? Some do, but there are millions who don't get that recognition. But hence why we remember the dead. And we will never forget the dead. I mean, among many other things you don't hear about, because here's the thing. Okay, as of the time of this writing, about 7 months ago, I finished a well-known classic documentary series called The World at War. It's heavily recognized as not just the greatest documentary series ever made, but it's possibly the single greatest television series ever made. And it's all about the Second World War, from the rise of Adolf Hitler in 1933 all the way till the very, very end, and just a little bit afterwards. And in one such case, ladies and gentlemen, like, imagine I'm Laurence Olivier for a few seconds, and he just straight up says this at the start of episode 11. No country, no people suffered ever so terribly in the war as did the Soviet Union. In the siege of Leningrad alone, which lasted for 2 years, more human beings died than the total war dead of both Great Britain and the United States combined. Yet it was here that Hitler was broken. The Russian people found the possibility that they might perish, and overcame it. And for those who have, if you've never heard of the siege of Leningrad, I would highly recommend watching The World at War, because among many other things, it talks about Barbarossa, it talks about Stalingrad, Leningrad, the Italian campaign, the campaigns like Operation Torch in North Africa. It talks about It talks also about the unsung, the unheard of stories about not only Nazi-occupied Holland and, well, the Holocaust as well. And it's when you it's when you get presented with things like Disposable Heroes, and you start peeling back the layers, and you start peeling back certain things that you just begin to think out for yourself, that you can't, you honestly, you can't, it's almost impossible to scale it into reality, because when you start doing that, you're wondering, well, why, what is all this fighting about anyway? Don't too many people, how many people will it take till they know that too many people have died? And bear in mind, that was the attitude I had 7 years ago. In the intervening 7 years, let's look at it this way, guys. A pandemic, the Russian invasion of the Ukraine, the horrifying conflicts between Israel and Palestine, and as of now, when we speak, what could turn out to be an entire blown out war between the Pakistanians and the Indians about the Kashmir region that is always very hotly contested about who technically owns it. And, well, even earlier today, Pakistan gave out a statement that they've gleefully boasted about killing several dozen Indian soldiers. And I don't know about you guys, but it's... I talked to a friend of mine who was Indian earlier today, and he told me that this is just one of those things that gets mentioned every so often. It's just the sort of thing that both sides have taken part in it, and they just do it to, like, really get under each other's nose whenever they want to kick up a fuss about Kashmir being raised up again. But I really do think it says quite a lot about... I mean, boasting about killing several soldiers of your next-door neighbours... I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of praying for war, if you ask me. And I do hope I get proven wrong. But I swear, there will be in another 7 years, there'll be even more wars, even more conflicts. I mean, we're already in the middle of basically a trade war between the Americans and the Chinese, and it's a conflict that could literally go on into Trump's third term. I hope to God Trump doesn't get a third term, but for some strange reason, I have the impression he will push for it however he can. And I don't know, and finally, guys, just to sum this up, the carnage, the betrayal, the noise, the confusion, and all the while, this is being handed to, as Metallica put it, 21, only son, but he served us well. He served the whatever purpose there was to this war, and therefore he will be sort of remembered as a disposable hero. It is pointless sometimes to even be angry in such cases about stuff like this, because one aeroplane bomb dropped over a crowded town causes quite a lot more suffering than half a dozen political persecutions, and yet, well, they do always leave it to the poor now, don't they? I know this is one of those occasions where it's not even the first anti-war song popularized by a metal band, and it's certainly not going to be the last anytime soon. But it's strange how, even after all this time, even as far back as 1986, or even as far ahead as 2025, or even as far ahead as 2050, it's hard to see how something like this, and there are thousands of examples of the youth taken away who are said to fight for the king and country, and how any of this actually brings victory any nearer. But with all that being said and done, I hope all of you guys enjoyed Disposable Heroes, and it delivers that impact like so very few songs too. Musically, as well as in its message, or everything about its message. But with all that being said and done, I'll see all of you guys again next time. Take care, and bye-bye for now. Well, hello again. And just before each and every one of you leave, if I could just hold your attention for a few more seconds, and I want to show you very quickly my Patreon store. I've been running this for 5 years now, and ever since this month began, I've decided to reopen, relaunch, completely sort out my categories for videos, and I've uploaded them sometimes as far as 3 months in advance. So you guys will be able to get an exclusive look exactly what's coming out, when it's coming out, at your convenience. So make sure to stop by, take a look around, and let's see what you think. Thank you very much for supporting me once again, and I'll see you again next time.